going to talk about Chennedy Carter, but it looks like she's blacklisted. And she will be playing professional basketball during the season, but it won't be for the WNBA.
Is attacking Caitlin Clark really worth sacrificing your entire WNBA career? Chennedy Carter just gave us that answer after over 120 days, without a single WNBA team offering her a contract. With training camps kicking off today, Carter has officially taken her talents to the Professional Basketball League in Mexico.
Seriously, she needs to do whatever she can to get some help, get her anger under control, where she will not have another incident like the one where she slammed into Caitlin Clark. She's out of the league.
This isn't just any player switching teams. This is the Chicago Sky's top scorer being officially cut from the league after a direct hit on the WNBA's biggest star. The Sky let her go without attempting a trade, and despite her MVP showing overseas, no team picked her up. That doesn't happen without serious cause. Share your thoughts below. Did Chennedy deserve this? Let's look at the full story. What happened, where she's going, and how she responded. Let's dive in.
Despite the solid fourth season from Carter, an incident with Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark stood out to many. The 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year came in the league, became arguably the most popular player. Became the most popular player. There, I cleaned it up for you, which may have rubbed some people the wrong way, including Carter.
Imagine this. June 1st, 2024. The Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. Just another game in a long season that unexpectedly turned historic. The match was tight throughout, ending in a close 71-70 win for the Fever. Tensions were already high when everything changed instantly.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
The moment happened right after a Chicago basket, as both teams moved down the court. Carter and Clark crossed paths, seemingly nothing out of the ordinary. But what followed was far from standard. Carter, appearing to play on, suddenly shifted direction. This wasn't minor, it was intentional. She aimed straight at Clark and delivered a hip check that knocked the rookie down. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was caught on camera leaping and clapping right after it happened.
She was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
That hit wasn't your average basketball play. It wasn't even a typical hard foul. It was something entirely different, leaving the crowd in stunned silence. The broadcast showed every angle, and the commentators' tones shifted from analysis to pure disbelief. "What was that?" echoed in the arena as Clark hit the floor. The officials blew the whistle immediately, calling a standard foul. But it was clear something more was at play. After reviewing the footage, refs upgraded it to a flagrant foul the next day, confirming it wasn't basketball-related and could have been dangerous.
It's one thing pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding her. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest.
What stood out most in this incident wasn't just the hit. It was Clark's reaction to it. Where other players might have sprung up ready to fight, Clark calmly got to her feet, collected herself, and kept playing. No drama, no retaliation, just a rookie handling pressure like a seasoned pro. This contrast, Carter's aggression versus Clark's calm, only intensified the emerging story. Stats, shooting charts, and matchups were abandoned in favor of a frame-by-frame breakdown of Carter's intent. Was Clark targeted because she's a rookie? Was it envy or rivalry? These questions kept growing while the actual game faded into the background.
Something's got to wake her up too. I mean, something's got to wake her up and say, man, I could be in the WNBA right now, starting on a team, being their leading scorer. I've got to get my temper and my head under control. I got to figure it out somehow.
What no one could predict at that moment, not Carter, not Clark, not even viewers, was how that 5-second moment would reshape Carter's professional path. This wasn't just a lapse in judgment during a tense match. It became the spark that triggered a downward spiral, a single physical act that kicked off a chain reaction that would eventually cost Carter her spot in the league altogether.
There's no doubt Chennedy Carter is extremely talented, but she's got to get her head screwed on straight.
And if that initial hit hadn't already badly damaged Carter's public image, what followed next would seal the fallout. As cameras focused on her post-game, Carter had a golden opportunity to clarify or maybe apologize, but her reaction instead threw gasoline on a fire that was already blazing.
She knocked Caitlin Clark to the floor. We all saw it, a flagrant foul. And many people, including myself, thought it was borderline assault. It was awful.
The press conference cameras captured every second as Carter sat down, given the perfect moment to steer the story differently. One thoughtful comment could have changed the tone. Maybe regret, maybe a reason, or even acknowledging the incident. Any of that could have lessened the backlash. But with reporters watching and ready, Carter uttered 7 words that would end up doing more harm than the foul itself. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
And then Chennedy just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that moment between you and Caitlin. What was that play, what was said, and kind of what led to.
Next question.
Yeah, like it seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good.
Those 7 words bounced around the basketball world at lightning speed. Within hours, commentators who might have excused the on-court act as just part of the game now had no defense. Carter's refusal to discuss it transformed what could have faded away in 24 hours into a week-long media storm questioning her judgment. If the hip check drew criticism, this post-game moment raised much bigger concerns.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense, and I feel like that's kind of what we did, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
What made Carter's reaction even more harmful was how it sharply contrasted with how Clark handled things. While Carter avoided taking ownership, Clark told reporters, "Basketball's competitive, I understand. Emotions can take over. It's happened to me before." One player showed wisdom and grace, while the other refused to take responsibility, leaving league decision-makers talking behind closed doors.
And there has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk now?
This image problem didn't stay confined to upset fans online. Team managers and WNBA executives were watching closely. In pro sports, talent matters, but it's not the only factor. The conversation shifted from, can she play, to is the trouble worth it? Carter's careless reaction stirred unrest within the Sky's locker room, with both players and coaches reportedly upset over her remarks.
I mean, she can score with the lights out. I mean, she's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard. An instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
The fallout wasn't just about media image. It caused actual tension inside the team. After Carter's comments, the atmosphere in the locker room worsened, making a hard situation even harder. Basketball is, at its heart, a group effort. When one player refuses to own up to actions that embarrass the whole team, it breaks down essential trust. So the Chicago Sky let her walk in free agency, no offer made, and no other team stepped forward. One GM even said off the record, "We wouldn't go near her, not even with a 10-foot pole."
Can you break down that situation that happened?
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, you know, that's a part of basketball.
For nearly an entire year, Carter stayed publicly quiet about what happened, until last week. She finally decided to speak during an interview with the polarizing podcaster Neon. Her take, it was just a minor tap. Yes, the same hit that sent Clark crashing to the floor and led to an instant flagrant foul was now, in Carter's retelling, merely a soft bump between friends.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said, and then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court, then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, you know, just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, you know, I don't think it was, you know what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like, I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't stop him.
You almost have to respect the dedication to denial. After reviewing that clip countless times, most people clearly see Carter redirect herself just to initiate contact. Yet somehow it's being spun as if it were a harmless brush in a crowded hallway. This awkwardly late PR move leads to one obvious question. Why come forward now, long after an apology or explanation could have made a real difference?
I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like it happens in basketball. I know people try to say, oh, it's not one of those things.
It's not a personal thing, it's a competitive thing.
It happens in basketball, and like it's just one of those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of what happened. Then it spiraled out of control.
And then the media takes whatever narrative they want to
then
put
you
out.
watch every single game to see if you can find any deflects in my game, and like it's really nothing that you probably could say too much about. So then you have trolls, and that's why I said they're gonna be around regardless. But yeah, it was just like a nice little like tap, like I'm here, not to like harm you or anything. You know, if you want to push somebody, you're gonna like full.
The timing seemed intentional, perhaps realizing her pro options were drying up. Carter aimed to repair her image just enough to stay in the game. But her weak explanation only confirmed what many already suspected. This was a player not ready to truly own up to what she'd done.
I mean, that happens, man. Like, it's one of those things. I'm a great player, she's a great player. It looks a certain way. Everybody's gonna have their views on it. But my personal view is, you know, I don't have anything against her. She's a great player, and so am I. And I've got buckets all that season, you know what I'm saying? So, just one of those things that, I love it though. They think I hate it. I love it. I love when it gets riled up and juicy like that.
You feed off of like what people say and shit, and it makes you more motivated.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I love the hate. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What makes Carter's case especially interesting is that no one questions her skills. She averaged 17.5 points per game last year, a personal best. Based on talent alone, several WNBA teams should have been eager to sign her. Instead, the mix of that flagrant foul and her reaction afterward made her untouchable within league circles.
She did. She stopped and went through. Like, oh. Like, that is not... We watched the clip. There is no way that we're letting this happen. Like, saying that it was nothing. Like this is not just a tap.
Basketball leaders know chemistry is critical, especially in the WNBA, where team unity often drives results. Signing Carter wasn't just adding a scorer, it meant risking locker room balance. Her refusal to admit fault sparked real doubts about how she might handle tough coaching or future conflict.
This is crazy, and this changes everything, because all this time we've been waiting on Chennedy Carter to take responsibility for what she did to Caitlin Clark. It shows me, I ain't even got to watch all this footage right here, but I am going to look at it. But it's showing me right now that she still is not taking responsibility for her actions. She's finna blame this whole situation on Caitlin Clark supposedly talking smack to her.
Although most fans first heard Carter's name after the infamous hit, insiders had quietly voiced concerns for years. Her professional struggles actually began before she ever faced Caitlin Clark. In 2021, while with the Atlanta Dream, Carter was suspended mid-season for what the team vaguely called conduct detrimental. This wasn't just a minor issue, it followed a dispute that shook team chemistry. The Dream's bold move to sideline one of their top young players made waves, branding her as a locker room risk.
Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles.
After her stint in Atlanta, Carter was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks, where similar issues persisted. Despite her ability to score, reports indicated she saw reduced minutes due to her behavior, essentially a polite way of saying she caused problems again. The Sparks coaching team clearly chose to limit her role, prioritizing team unity over her offensive output.
I mean, good luck. Good luck. I don't know who's going to take her. I don't know what teams are going to take her. No, I don't think she's going to the Indiana Fever. I mean, yeah, bring her in after what happened. I don't think so.
This pattern, raw skill overshadowed by behavioral concerns, began shaping Carter's legacy into something few athletes can recover from. By the time she landed with the Chicago Sky, quiet talk about her attitude had become full-blown alarm among league officials. Here's the striking part. Despite her career average of 14.6 points on an excellent 47.3% from the field, teams still hesitated. One league insider even called her radioactive, a shocking term for someone with clear offensive value. This wasn't casual talk. It reflected the dominant opinion among decision-makers throughout the WNBA.
During the 2024 WNBA season, guard Chennedy Carter emerged as a key player for the Chicago Sky, leading the team in scoring with 17.5 points per game, a career high. She would still be probably their best pure offensive weapon if she was still on that team. Now, there's a world where Camila Cardoso, and I've said this, will be their best player this year, provided they allow her to ball, or provided Angel Reese gets the hell out of the way, one of the two.
The clearest sign of how badly her reputation had declined came after her standout 2024 season with the Sky. Despite leading the team in scoring with a career-best 17.5 points over 33 games, the most she's ever played, Chicago shocked everyone by refusing to give her a qualifying offer. Let that sink in. A franchise gave up their top scorer for nothing in return. This wasn't purely a stats call, it was a message about the organization's values. Chicago essentially told the league Carter's drama outweighed her production. And just as loudly, none of the league's other 11 teams offered her a deal heading into 2025.
Fast forward to Friday, Carter, who saw her one-year deal with the Sky come to an end, has yet to sign with the WNBA team. With training camp right around the corner, Carter has elected to join a different league as she awaits another shot at the WNBA. Chennedy Carter has taken her talents to the Mexican, and I'm not even trying to pronounce that, the LMBPF. Long story short, it's in Mexico, and it looks like a women's Mexican basketball league, professional basketball league.
After spending more than 120 days unsigned in free agency, Carter's departure from the WNBA is now official. She signed with Adelitas de Chihuahua, a team in Mexico's top women's basketball league. The signing signals a definitive break from the world's top women's league. The Mexican club introduced her on Instagram, praising her past performance and warmly welcoming her into their lineup.
She's joining a women's basketball league in Mexico. The WNBA thing looks like a wrap for her for now. And in case you're wondering, she averaged 17.5 points a game last year and literally shot 50% from the field for the Chicago Sky. And she's 26 years old. I get it. I mean, she's got to lay in the bed she made.
Carter won't be taking on Mexico alone. She'll be joined by guard Victoria Vivians, who spent 6 years with the Indiana Fever before playing briefly for the Seattle Storm in 2024. For Carter, this shift is both a new opportunity and a significant step down from the visibility and prestige of the WNBA. Could she dominate in the LNBPF? Without question, her skill hasn't faded, only her image. The bigger question is whether this marks a short-term change of scenery or the closing chapter of her elite-level career.
And, I mean, I don't know what's going to be a wake-up call. I would hope Chennedy Carter would turn her focus of all of her anger into something positive and she would become a great WNBA player. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen this season.
The WNBA isn't just getting better. On the court, it's redefining its values. As Chennedy Carter takes her talents to Mexico, the league sends a firm message. Talent alone won't carry you anymore if you can't match it with integrity and professionalism.
Chennedy Carter, she got a new job. Adios, amigos.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are showing fans what the future looks like. Record-breaking crowds and viewership numbers are only part of the story. Clark's jersey leads the league in sales and has helped drive a staggering 11-fold increase in overall merchandise revenue. The contrast is impossible to ignore. While Carter rebuilds overseas, the WNBA is raising the bar with tighter rules and higher standards, clearly signaling what kind of players today's league is built to support. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like and subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll catch you in the next one.